to Looking Glass Letterbox for Teatime and Tarot. This is a general reading, just a shuffle of the cards to see what the tarot serves up for us to consider today. So if this applies for you, if it clicks for you, wonderful. Take it with you, consider it over the next few days and how it may apply to what's happening for you in your life. If not, then it's not for you, then leave it. But hopefully there's something that's interesting or curious or helpful that you can take with you to consider as you go about the next few days or the next couple weeks. We're starting out with the Page of Pentacles again today. So that is, that came up as the first card yesterday. So something that you want to work on, something you want to develop, something you want to pick up and integrate into your life for long-term process, or sort of a committed development plan. So it could be anything in the realms of home, work, money, family, health, anything in the material, earthly, external existence that you are creating and interacting with. So what is it for you? What is it that you've decided to pick up, that you've selected to develop over the next period of time? Three of Wands is ships coming in. So opportunities approaching. Sophia's got her binoculars out. She's got her set-sided. She's looking to the horizon. What is happening or what is approaching you, or what seems that it may become available to you to interact with? Because again, Wands is our passions, our purpose, our motivation, and our behaviors, what we actually go out and do and interact with to develop what it is we're focused on. And then we have the Five of Cups. Okay, so Five of Cups is processing some loss, processing some grief, some disappointment, something that's been lost, something that's no longer available to interact with in the same way that it was available before. So this is in the emotional space because it's cups, so it's water. So it's your emotional life and your emotional connections and relationships to situations, to people, to circumstances. So if you're connecting with this, there's something that you're processing through that you have to let go of, but there is something approaching on the horizon. Processing and working through this grief actually seems like it's probably going to be an important element to follow through on, because it's at the point of 5, and 5s are related to the Hierophant, so there's a lesson to be learned there. 5s are a point of obstacle or challenge or conflict that you are intended to work through, to figure out, to overcome, to be able to develop to the next stage of connection and reciprocity and growth when you get to the 6. So if there's something that you're struggling with emotionally to let go of, or to grieve the loss over, or to a disappointment, something didn't work out the way that you hoped it would, or the way that you thought it would, and now you have to reconsider your way forward. Pages are about learning and exploring. Okay, so, and it's an earth element, it's in a practical ways. So gathering more information, looking into other avenues of the practicality, the practical options that are available for you to maybe reconfigure or re-envision or restructure what it is that you'd like to develop with the page. And 3s are related to the Empress. That's what you're in active co-creation with. You're actively endeavoring and investing yourself in to grow something in to your life and to make it come alive and to nurture it and maintain it and sustain it. And 3 of Wands is a vision of opportunity in the future for you to come into contact with and select. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Hermit. So that's the card of Virgo. Virgo may be influential to you here, but this is about your personal path. What road do you want to walk in your life? What experiences do you want to have? What is the map that you envision for your future? And how does that relate to the path that you're currently walking? Are they in harmony or are they in discord? Are there some adjustments that need to be made, some things that need to be released, let go of in this 5 of Cups, so that you can take up opportunities that are going to come closer into alignment of the path that you want to walk, the path that you're called to step out upon? That's something to consider. And then at the top of the deck, we have 10 of Wands. Carrying too much, overburdening yourself, overwhelming yourself with things from the past. These are actions that you've already completed. 10 is the number of completion. All right, so nothing that you've been carrying has been worthless to you. It's all been significant. It's all been worthwhile. It's all been effective. But the time comes when these things are no longer available to you. So what is it that you're insisting on carrying forward that is weighing you down and preventing you from developing whatever this coin is that you've selected and taking advantage of these opportunities that are becoming available to you? So considering those behaviors, routines, circumstances that you're sort of stubbornly clinging to that are no longer applicable. Taking a look at those things. And then in the center of the deck, we have the Fool. So we have the solar eclipse approaching, the new moon approaching, just following the full lunar eclipse that we had several days ago. So we're in a corridor of transition, of change. So time and circumstance has served a lot of stuff up to people that they weren't expecting, that is sort of forcing the issue of change. And not just change external to you, change in your understanding and the way that you go out and then operate and behave in the spaces that you're moving forward. And the Fool is about stepping out into the unknown, but being excited about taking the risk, sort of being free to do so. And you're not going to be free to do that in this way if you don't take the time to process through that Five of Cups element and to take a look at the opportunities that are approaching and recognizing how those things sort of interact with each other. All right, so that you can make the most effective and efficient and supportive decisions for how you're going to move forward from this point. All right, I'm going to get my clarifying stones. This is going to be a little loud. Sorry about that. Okay, so clarifying the Page of Pentacles, we have the Six of Coins. So that is about reciprocity in the material realm. What is in balance? What is out of balance? Where are you giving too much, not getting enough in return? Where are you giving too little? Where are you receiving too little? You know, where are things working in copacetic nature with each other, where they're replenishing each other and in harmony with each other? And where are they in discord? Where is it that things are not working in the balance of the exchange in your life regarding earthly matters, your life external to you? All right, so that's something to just get to consider and to ask yourself and to seek out answer and clarification for when you're learning and on sort of set to discover and explore how things stand at the moment, so that you know how you can decide to move into development in the future. All right, Three of Wands clarified by the Seven of Swords. Okay, Seven of Swords is about sort of, this is in the wands are in the heart space, in your purpose and your passion and what you want to do. The swords are in the intellectual body, in the story you tell yourself, and the understanding that you have of circumstances and information and communication. So, and the Seven is related to the Chariot. So Seven of Swords is about, okay, do you need to escape something? Are you trying to escape something to avoid something? Or are you trying to protect something? To take what you need from the situation that it is in, to safeguard it and maintain it so that it can apply elsewhere. So what if you need to sort of remove yourself from a situation or a space or a circumstance? Is it because you are trying to escape for avoidance? Or is it because you are trying to remove yourself for sort of self-care purposes? You're not in the right place, so you have to take what is yours and move into a space that is more beneficial and supportive and workable to exist within. Okay, and then Five of Cups clarified by the Eight of Coins. So that is doing the work. focusing on the process, understanding the minutia, refining the skill. I love the Eight of Coins. Actually, it reminds me very much of sort of Virgo. It's about paying attention to the detail and doing something repetitively to create something of value that you understand the nuance and the significance of those things, regardless of what it is in the coins realm: homework, money, family, health. But doing the work that is required in order to release yourself from this grief so that you can then come back into emotional connection and resonance. And that's very significant in a Gemini season, because Gemini season is about the unification of the duality and commitment and conviction and sort of divine unification with head and heart as well. So aligning your intellectual intelligence with your emotional intelligence and having those work in copacetic union together. All right, and then we have the Oracle. We're using the Enchanted Map Oracle this week. One card, please. And what does the Enchanted Map Oracle have for us to consider today? Yesterday, I think it was the One-Winged Circus. So that was sort of about standing in the center of your life. We had the King of Cups and the King of Swords on the table. And that's about observing what thoughts, it's a mutable space. So a lot of thoughts in Gemini and in the sword space are going to rise up with the upheaval in this corridor between eclipses. So instead of reacting to those things immediately, reacting and responding, just taking the observer space, observing the thoughts and the story and the understandings that sort of rise to the surface. And then also with the King of Cups in Pisces, which is mutable water, observing what emotions are evoked and what emotional circumstances and considerations rise to the surface there, and observing those with maturity, with sort of a clear scope of observation and analysis. We've had Libra on the table quite a bit. We have Libra on the table again with the Six of Coins. Libra is an element of Six of Coins, the scales. So that is about taking a objective, analytical view of the bigger picture and sort of seeing how the puzzle all fits together before you make a decision on how you're going to move forward. All right, so keep that in mind for the next few days, especially coming up to the eclipse, because that's going to place you in a position of sort of being prepared and aware of how you're going to move forward from that point. Okay, and we have commitment. Card 36, commitment, also related to Gemini. So in all this observation and analysis of what's changed, what hasn't, what's happened, what hasn't, what have you wanted and what have you gotten, what's the fantasy, what's the reality, what's your vision of the future, and what does your space actually look like in the moment right now. We had the Ten of Swords on the table a lot this week. So sort of observation, analysis, comparison, seeing where things are leaking up, seeing what's in harmony, what's in disharmony, what works, what doesn't, and making decisions with those kings that were on the table yesterday. The King of Swords and the King of Cups, emotionally and intellectually, having those things in union with each other in Gemini season to allow you to expand the scope of your understanding and awareness so that you then are more confident and can embrace the authority and understand the authority that needs to be taken to make decision on what you're going to do next. We had the the Queen of Swords on the table yesterday, and that's about understanding what it means to take the authority and the responsibility and having the clear vision on how you're going to decide the decisions you're going to make and following through on those things. So independent thought. So the quote with the commitment card is, let's see, a true commitment is a responsibility of the heart, mind, body, and soul. this is a good time to make one. Okay, so in the past couple of weeks, we had strength showing up so much, and that is the radiant heart. Your character, your conviction, your commitment, your integrity, how you want to physically show up and behave in the space, the energy that you put out of yourself into the realms where you are interacting. Okay, and then we have in Gemini season the intellectual expansion and understanding of the spectrum of thought and story and personal, what you're telling yourself about your life and what's possible for you, what's not possible for you, what you've done, what you haven't done, sort of your understanding of the entire scope of that thing in preparation of making the next choice of doing what it is that you're going to do next. And in the emotional body with Pisces, we've had show up quite a bit. And that's the mutable water. That's the emotional intelligence and maturity and understanding and taking authority and command over the decisions that you take to move forward. So mind, body, spirit, all sort of linking up to take you down the next path of evolution. What's next? A lot of people, it sounds like, are at a crossroads where things just can't go on. Life can't work the way that it did before because the circumstances are different. Time and circumstances changed, and the way that they operated or the way that you behaved or the way that you were presented in the world with your routine and your intention and what you were willing to tolerate, what you were not willing to tolerate, those systems individually aren't working for a lot of people anymore. So it's time to sort of rewrite that script. And this is all in preparation, especially this corridor between eclipses that is making it obvious to a lot of people that, okay, some changes need to be made. And not just by everyone else, by me as well. You know, so individual change, individual understanding of that, and then external understanding how those systems aren't working, and whether in making choices. We had the High Priestess on the table as well. So intuitively knowing the choices that are sort of laid before you to make, and having a vision of what opportunities lie in front of you, and the plans that you would like to make real for your personal path, that you would like to align with in a state of preparation for those things. But processing the grief of what was lost to the past, what's no longer possible, what's no longer available, is a difficult thing to do. But it brings you to this sort of poised position of making a commitment of how you're going to move forward from this point. So partnerships formed at this time are harmonious and powerful when this card comes up. The commitment card also indicates that the natural evolution of a relationship from its inception to a literal or metaphorical marriage. At the very least, there is a promise of fulfillment in some form, whether that be a relationship with a person, your relationship with yourself, in your career, in your, in any circumstance that is significant to you, that you feel, okay, it's time to go next level. This is something I want to embrace and really integrate into my life for the long haul, for a solid commitment. But be conscious of what you're committing to. So that's knowing the details with the Page of Pentacles, recognizing the loss, what's no longer possible, that no longer applies from the past with that 10 of Wands and with the 5 of Cups. In order to make a commitment like this, you have to let stuff go. Stuff that you may be desperately clinging to or that you don't think that you can. You have to release some of that stuff in order to be able to make a commitment like this. So be clear about the nature of your commitment and your responsibility to it. Remember that your partnership with Spirit and the highest version of yourself will engage the highest self of another that is in incongruency to you, that is matching your energy, matching your vibe. Remember, we talked about, I think it was yesterday in the Enchanted Map Oracle with the One Ring Circus, interdependent relationships, where each person involved in the relationship understands their own responsibility and authority within that relationship, are mutually satisfying, mutually supportive, and nurturing. Codependency is the opposite of that, where there's clinging and neediness, and one person within the scenario is shouldering all of the responsibility for themselves and for the needs of the other person. So Check your relationships for those sorts of aspects. What is in discord? What is in harmony? And how can you rebalance and reconfigure those things? And what needs to be let go of or released and worked through in order for you to embrace the future that is approaching, that's in alignment with your personal path with the Hermit. Okay, that is all that I have for today. I hope that was interesting or helpful or curious. And I will talk to you guys next week. Bye.